And we have some fans here, Sam.
Certainly
We've got some Mount St. Mary's fans. We have some Longwood fans. This is a drivable location here in Reynolds Coliseum in Raleigh, North Carolina for both fan bases. So it's exciting in this gym right now.
And again, the prize for winning this one, you will face #1 NC State, but you got to win here first. Right down to Akila Smith, up and in, and the first 2 points to the Longwood Lancers. Take a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Capital One. Longwood starting 5 there. Kyla McMakin, Akila Smith, and Tredacia Smith, all averaging over double digits. Back the other way, Jessica Tomasetti's first shot off the mark and a jump ball underneath. Here is the starting 5 for Mount St. Mary's. And only 7 active players. So, you know, who you're seeing in the starting 5, you're going to see quite a bit of.
You will. Akila Smith gets that first bucket. That's my biggest question for Mount St. Mary's in this game. How are they going to be able to contain Akila Smith?
And a 5-second violation will turn the ball over to Longwood. Head coach Rebecca Tillett, her 4th season at Longwood, has guided this program to new heights. And a program record 21 wins this season. Here's Akila Smith once again powering herself, gets her own rebound. That's off the mark.
She's been able to get 3 if you count 2 shot attempts there, Sam. 3 really good looks so far. And Mount St. Mary's, they don't have much depth inside. But Akila Smith, as we mentioned in the open, she is one of the best players in mid-major basketball right now. She's a tough cover for anyone.
Tomasetti kicks it out. Kayla Agintovich, her first shot is no good. She averages 9 a game.
Great box out from Bree Johns.
Quickly up ahead in transition. And the first 2 buckets of the game to Akila Smith. She averages 17 a game. The Big South Player of the Year this year and Defensive Player of the Year. Here's Michaela Harrison. That's rejected by Bree Johns. Backdoor cut by Tomasetti. Tries to knock it off of McMakin and is successful in that. So it will stay here with Mount St. Mary's. There is Rebecca Tillett. Really has orchestrated one of the biggest turnarounds in college basketball recent history. This team was 3-27, Kelly, in 2018. And now they have won 21 games, and the Lancers are really playing some good basketball right now.
It's absolutely incredible what she's done. And Akila Smith, who we've mentioned quite a few times
Already.
so far, she was a freshman on that team that went 3-27. So just imagine the journey. Didn't enter the transfer portal, won 3 games her first year. Now in her senior season has all 6 points for Longwood in this NCAA tournament game.
The Mount is going to have to find a way to stop Akila Smith. Here's Kendall Brzee, top of the key. She will fire away. That's well off the mark. And the offensive rebound juggled out of bounds. It has been all Longwood in the early going here, and an early change for head coach Antoine White. This is his first season as the head coach, his 6th season on staff. He's just 32 years old, Kelly, but we got a chance to talk to him. A very impressive coach. And how about making the NCAA tournament your inaugural season at the helm?
That's not bad. I was super impressed by him in the press conference. He was an assistant at Mount St. Mary's for quite a few years and was there when Kendall Brzee came in as a freshman. So he's been with this program for a while, and Brzee and Agintovich both said we wanted to come back and play our 6th year for him in his first season.
So Longwood starts out the game on an 8-0 run. Kennedy Calhoun got her first basket of the game on the other end. Jada Lee had it knocked out. Here's Agintovich. Will reset with 9 on the shot clock. 6 to shoot now. Tess Borges with the shot. That's no good. Agintovich racing it down out of bounds. Last touched by the Mount.
Kennedy Calhoun has been so active defensively for Longwood. She's making it difficult for the Mount to even get into their offense with the ball pressure that she's applying all the way up on that NC State logo.
It's a Longwood team that averages about 72 points a game. Already got the first 8-3 of their last 3 from the floor. Kyla McMakin in the split to Smith, up and in for 2. How about it? Akila Smith, 8 of the 10 points for Longwood, and a timeout called by Mount St. Mary's. What a start for Longwood. 10-0 here in this first 4 game.
Quick with her release, that she's going to keep making them pay if they keep trapping that ball screen. So keep an eye on how the Mount guards those ball screen actions the rest of this quarter.
All 10 points for Longwood in the paint. And I'll tell you what, Longwood's been playing some tenacious defense, making it tough to even get a shot off. That one able to get off. Out of bounds, going Longwood's way.
That was Akila Smith pressuring Kendall Brzee all the way up near half court. And that's what Coach Tillett told us about Smith as well, is she can truly guard 1 through 5. And sometimes coaches say that, that's an overused phrase, but she means it. Akila Smith can. She can, then that means she can switch. She can guard a point guard, she can guard a 5, and everyone in between.
All right, something's got to give in this one. 60 points Mount St. Mary's allows per game, so they are a really good defensive team, or at least known for being one. Longwood scoring about 70 a game, second in the Big South. So it's got to be somewhere in the middle. Right now it is all Longwood. They are 6 for 8 from the floor, Kelly, 12 points. Out of bounds, and will stay here with the Mount. So how do you kind of calm the nerves in a situation like this? It looks like the Mount's rushing maybe a little bit.
It does, and they're struggling to get any paint touches. They've taken a ton of threes. 5 of their 6 field goal attempts are from beyond the arc. They've got to find a way, whether it's their cutting action, maybe using some ball screen action, to get in the paint and get an easy look, perhaps get to the free throw line. Agintovic,
Unfriendly roll. Offensive rebound, though, Jada Lee.
Half of her team didn't even realize she grabbed that O-board.
Michaela Harrison's 3. Bit too strong. Back the other way goes Akila. Akila trying to go coast to coast, got fouled. And Akila Smith will go to the line to shoot 2. First foul against Jada Lee.
I mentioned earlier how Akila Smith can guard 1 through 5. Who knows, can she play 1 through 5, Sam? She looked like a point guard right there. Taking the ball and dribbling it completely up the floor, calling her own number and getting to the rack.
She also shoots 75% from the line, makes the first. Coach Tillett getting ready to make a couple of changes. One for 2 at the free throw line, but how about Bree Johns racing for the rebound? It is regained now by Mount St. Mary's.
And this is a tough situation for the Mount because, as we mentioned, they only have 7 players due to injuries. They want to slow this game down. They want to play a half-court game. It's tough to come back against a big deficit when you're playing a slower pace. So we'll see if Coach White maybe tries to get his team to run a little more.
0 for 7 from beyond the arc, 0 for 9 from the floor. As that shot rims in and out for Tredasia Smith. But what a start for Longwood. 13-0. 4:45 left to go in the first quarter.
I had never seen this before. Sam and I were both blown away. Before practice and shoot around, they do a team mindfulness exercise where they all lay on the floor and they go through a guided meditation as a team. It lasted anywhere from, 7 to 15 minutes, I would say. I had never seen that before. I thought it was excellent. And what a tool to equip your young women with that skill that they can use in life when they face challenges and adversity after their playing days, and just use as a tool to reset their mind and attack their life after basketball.
So 13-0 here. 4:20 left to go in the first quarter. 0 for 10 from the floor for the Mount, but an offensive rebound. Second chance coming here. Kelly, they've taken 8 threes so far. Here's a good, strong drive there by Jada Lee, and I was just about to say they might want to try and do that a little bit more.
They do shoot 35% from 3, so they are a pretty good three-point shooting team, but they have not touched the paint enough. 8 of their 10 field goal attempts have been from 3. So to get in the lane, to get to the line, that's what you need to do right now if you're the Mount. And Sam, you brought this up in one of our production meetings. They played their championship game, the Mount did, on Sunday.
Yes.
Longwood has been resting. They played their Big South championship game a week back on March 6th, so a week ago from Sunday. It sure looks like Longwood is the more rested team right now.
Jada Lee knocks down the first and makes the second. The sophomore from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Averages just over 3 a game.
And that's going to be a sigh of relief for the Mount. That's going to open things up for them to get on the board, to see the ball go through the net. I expect some more offense from them in these final 4 minutes.
And Hamilton Leroy checks into the game as Kennedy Calhoun gets a breather. And that one knocked away all the way to the end. Michaela Harrison, count it.
Great job by Michaela Harrison. 3rd team All Northeast Conference, getting after it defensively, getting in the passing lane, and then does a great job of finishing with contact. And just like that, the Mount seems to have grabbed a little momentum in this one.
So 5-0 run, just a little bit of a run, but nonetheless, after Longwood started this game seemingly unstoppable, the Mount has gotten a couple of points. Ball back in. Shot from McMakin's no good. Offensive rebound. How about Brooke Anya on the follow, just off the rim though. So she will shoot 2.
The rebounding battle is just being dominated by Longwood.
Well, the winner of this game will advance to play the Bridgeport Region #1 seed NC State. That'll be on Saturday, March 19th at 2 p.m. on ESPN. NC State, a #1 seed for the 2nd straight season. There was a ton of pressure on NC State this year after bowing out early last year.
Sam, you bring up NC State, the Bridgeport region. We are here in Raleigh, Reynolds Coliseum, and I do think there's some pressure on NC State. #1 seed again.
Yep.
Haven't made a Final Four since 1998. This team is without a doubt good enough to make a Final Four, but you gotta win the games in March.
Brazie's runner a bit too strong. Bridgeport region, top 4 seeds. Got NC State, UConn, Indiana, and Oklahoma. And a transition 3 for Kyla McMakin, leading the team. She's averaging 18 a game.
Longwood is very unique in that the Big South Player of the Year doesn't even lead her own team in scoring. Kyla McMakin leads this team in scoring. She is what I like to call a walking bucket. She's never seen a shot she doesn't like, and most of the time, Sam, they go in.
Most of the time, they do. So 18-5 now. Tre'Dasia Smith, the point guard, leads the conference in assists. Step back there, and that rolls off the rim. Rebound to Jada Lee. With full court pressure, and a whistle against Ann Hamilton Leroy. It's her second.
McMakin has such a quick release. And this is Akila Smith, again, playing the point guard, basically. Draws the defense, kicks out McMakin. She knew it was good the second it left her hand. Those two play really well together. You add in Tre'Dasia Smith. That's the big 3 for Longwood. And look at her numbers. So productive. 1st team All Big South, very deserved. Averaging 18 points per game. Was not the Player of the Year, but I would have to assume finished 2nd for Player of the Year behind her teammate Akila Smith.
So Mount St. Mary's starting this first quarter 1 for 13 from the floor, make it 1 for 14 now. And the rebound there to Adriana Ship. Back the other way come the Lancers. And the scoop, offensive rebound by Lee. Wow, we both said wow.
Did you see that rebound, Sam Ravitch? Was she even with the rim? Goodness gracious.
Impressive stuff from Akila Lee and Longwood so far in this one. Mount's got to figure out a way to get some offense going. Nice backdoor cut by Harrison. Just couldn't finish at the rim. Longwood with numbers now. Kennedy Calhoun kicks it back. Hamilton Leroy short on the shot. out of bounds, and it'll be going the Mount's way.
All right, Sam, take a look at this rebound. Akila Smith skies for that ball. And then the finish. Let's give the finish some credit, too, because that finish was tough. She is basically at the rim, folks. That was an incredible rebound. Akila Smith is only 5'11". Now, only, in basketball terms, that's not the tallest, but she is incredibly gifted athletically. What a rebound.
11 points, 4 rebounds for Smith. Here's Agintovic. Haven't been able to buy a basket really here in the first quarter, but they have gotten some second chance opportunities. Tess Borges on the drive. Offensive foul. The charge was taken by Bree Johns.
Great work by Bree Johns. Sam, the second that she picked up her dribble, I was thinking this is going to be a charge. Because you can tell, her eyes aren't even on the basket. Her eyes are on the floor. And Bree Johns read that, came over, obtained legal guarding position, set her feet, took the charge. That's a textbook play. And I can guarantee you the official, when he or she noticed where her eyes were, they were already thinking charge. You got to be looking up.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter of this first 4 contest. 2 16 seeds, Longwood, Mount St. Mary's. And the drive up and in for 2, Tre'Dasia Smith. This has been a rout here in the first quarter. Longwood 22-5 now, a 9-0 run. And a foul going against Mount St. Mary's and Isabella Hunt. That's her second.
Foul trouble is something the Mount cannot afford. They only have 7 healthy players, and Isabella Hunt is one of their post players, along with Tess Borges. So this is tough right now for the Mount. I'm not sure we will see Isabella Hunt for the rest of this half, but Coach White might not have a choice when we get into the second quarter.
About 3-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Bree Johns on Borges. Johns, tough shot at the buzzer. That's no good, out of bounds. About a second remaining. We'll stay with Longwood here, so chance to get a quick shot off with 0.9 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
If this game was close, I think you'd see Coach Tillett put Akila Smith in and try for a tip in, but because of the margin, she left Smith on the bench.
22-5 in the first quarter. Longwood shot almost 50% in the first quarter, but it has been Akila Smith's show today.
She is a name you need to know. What an incredible player here for Longwood, making her presence known. How about an 11-point first quarter for the season?
Kelly was nice enough to put together a couple of stories for us in this tournament. What do you got, Kel?
This is what I'm keeping an eye on. First of all, there's NC State right there. Elisa Cunane sitting front and center. And I think there's some pressure. And look, pressure can be good, right?
Yeah.
There's high expectations for NC State. I've watched them all year long. This team is good enough to make a Final Four. Can they do it? And then when you look in the Greensboro region, Aaliyah Boston versus Caitlin Clark, a potential Elite 8 meeting between those 2 National Player of the Year candidates. And then the big picture here, the push for equality in this tournament. Just being able to use the March Madness logo and branding, I think, is huge. Your casual basketball fan associates both of these tournaments with March Madness, and so to embrace that and activate that, I think, is big for the women's game.
Perfectly well said, and we were able to ask the players about that and how they felt, and they said, we're excited to be here, and we're excited about what the NCAA has done to kind of push that talk forward there. But Akila Smith with 13 points.
Sam, I think she's excited to be here.
Yeah,
she's very excited to be here. She is currently outscoring Mount St. Mary's all by herself and by a pretty wide margin. This has been a dominant showing for number 13.
Agintovic, Euro step. Nice move for Kayla Agintovic. Averages 9 a game. Graduate player. Suffered some injuries over her time, but came back, as did quite a few of these players, to play for Antoine White and try to bring them to an NCAA tournament. That's what they have done. The defense there, but Longwood maintains possession. Here's Smith, picks up the dribble.
And they still trap that ball screen. That time they got a deflection. When you trap a ball screen, you have to be big. Get your hands up. The whole point is to disrupt the passer while you can recover and help side.
Heads up play there by Kendall Brzee to knock it off of Smith. Yeah, so you said it, Cal. Akila Smith, 13.6 for 9 from the floor. Mount St. Mary's has just really struggled to find any sort of rhythm. 2 for 17 from the floor.
They've got to get Kendall Brzee going. Number 3 just fouled there. She is their leading scorer, Conference Player of the Year last year. Does it all for them. And they've been able to get her any good looks. They've got to be able to activate her, and I think that will open things up for the rest of the Mount.
Foul goes against Milu Venema. You can kind of see the frustration there on Kendall Brzee's face. I'm sure a lot of these players didn't necessarily expect it to start like this. Well,
and they've had Akila Smith on her, which again speaks to Akila Smith's versatility. This is the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big South, and she's 5'11", guarding a 5'10" Brzee. Smith can guard a big 5, but she can also guard a player like Brzee, who's playing the 3, and she's done a really good job on one of the better players in the country at the mid-major level. Look at what she's done. She's been dominant in the Northeast Conference, and Akila Smith, with her defensive ability, has shut her down early.
Brzee, Player of the Year in the conference last year. Huge, huge part. Leadership on and off the court for this team. Foul goes against Jada Lee there, so Kennedy Calhoun will shoot a pair at the line. Second foul on Lee. Calhoun 60% from the free throw line, misses the first. And the first ever program trip to the NCAA tournament for Longwood. And I guess if any Longwood fans thought there might be any nerves early on, that's certainly not the case.
This looks like what Longwood did to Campbell in the Big South Championship game. They boat raced them from the beginning. This is a team that likes to start fast. They're a very confident team offensively, and it shows.
Kyla McMakin, 2 threes in the game. She's got 8 points, and Longwood's lead extends 28-7 now.
McMakin making some threes, Sam.
Shoots 34% from beyond the arc. That slipped my mind for a second, and then I got it.
Your silence on that pun was deafening.
Smith with the block. Brzee following it up. They bump bodies. Physical matchup there between Brzee and Smith.
How about McMakin, Sam? You know what she's doing. She's going to make this thing.
You're gonna keep going, huh?
It writes itself, but she's been excellent as well to start this game. 8 points for her, super efficient, 2 made threes. She has a great stroke, and like I said earlier, a quick release. Also really good size. Playing the 3 for them at 5'11", that's good size in the Big South.
Led the Big South in scoring her freshman and sophomore years. Again, 18 points per game this year. As Brzee makes both at the free throw line, it has been a struggle for Mount St. Mary's so far in this first half. 2 for 18 from the floor, but they're a team that has played from behind. They have gone through some struggles this year. Tre'Dasia Smith with the handles, able to keep the dribble alive. Akila Smith spins in the paint, and a late whistle. The NCAA Men's Basketball Championship first round continues tonight on CBS, TBS, TNT, and True TV. For more information on tournament game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. First foul on Brzee. Akila Smith back to the line, misses the first. Oh, Kelly, talk about a player that's improved over her career. Akila Smith averages just over 3 points a game and 3 rebounds a game her freshman season. Now a senior, she's averaging 17 and 8.
It's hard for me to imagine Akila Smith in a game where she wasn't dominating. But look, she was a freshman, as all student athletes were freshmen, trying to adjust and learning how to play, learning what their strengths are. Not only her numbers, Sam, but the fact that she was on that team for Longwood that just won 3 games. Her growth and development, it's very parallel with this program. This program has risen as Akila Smith has risen.
Ball out of bounds underneath, will stay with the Mount. Mount St. Mary's has turned it over 5 times in this game. Tomasetti off the screen, kicks it back out to Brzee on the floor. Nice dump off to Hunt, but the long arms for Akila Smith. Back the other way in transition. Out of bounds as Kennedy Calhoun went up with the shot.
And that won't show up on the stat sheet, but Akila Smith affected that shot. With her length, she made that layup much more difficult. And that's what she does. She affects that shot, maybe got a little piece of it, and then is off to the races running the point. A really good pass. Calhoun just couldn't convert, but that's Akila Smith doing it all.
Six minutes to go here in this second quarter. First 4 game between the 2-16 seeds. Longwood and Mount St. Mary's. Double dribble called. Turnover for Deja Smith. The sure-handed point guard averages over 5 assists per game. That ranks 20th in the country. Turns it over there. Third turnover for Longwood in the game, but getting the ball right back. McMakin back the other way. Stops short for the jumper. That's no good. Jada Lee dumps it off to Hunt on the drive. Lee gets it back, scoops it up and in. Jada Lee, a couple of points in this one.
Jada Lee just 5'5", has 3 rebounds in this game. She's been all over the offensive glass, but Akila Smith just reaching in her bag and pulling out another trick. She can do everything.
She's already got 16 points in the game. We saw NC State and their players here. I wonder what they're thinking. I mean, you know that they're incredibly confident, they're #1 seed, but Longwood is shooting the lights out right now and playing some really tough defense. Isabella Hunt's jumper, no good.
What they're thinking is that Akila Smith could play in the ACC. She definitely could. Not the 5, probably not the 5 that she's playing at Longwood, but that's a player that could play anywhere.
Blocking foul, that's going against Isabella Hunt. Smith a little slow to get up. That's going to be the 3rd foul on Isabella Hunt. Something to keep an eye on there as Longwood with a 31-11 lead with 4:26 left to go in the second quarter.
Kelly.
Guys, thank you. We took a look at our game summary here, Longwood and Mount St. Mary's. This 2-16 teams, and they were just talking about in the studio, Kelly. Akila Smith looks like she's playing, just the best basketball of her life, but she's been doing this the entire season for Longwood.
She has, and this is a player that the viewer may be wondering how she ends up at a school like Longwood in the Big South. I think, first of all, she's undersized at 5'11", playing the 5, playing a post, so that may have been something when she was being recruited. But overall, we talked about it. She averaged 3 points per game as a freshman. She's put in the work. She's a much better player than she was coming out of high school. She's been able to develop. Coach Tillett has done a great job with her. Her quickness, her first step inside when she faces up. This is a player that, whether it's overseas, perhaps getting a training camp invite in the W, she's going to be able to play basketball for a very long time after her career is over. But she also would like to put Longwood on a little run here in the NCAA tournament, Sam.
Tess Borges' shot, no good, and standing right there for the rebound is Smith. Kelly, Akila Smith averages 17 points a game on the season. She's got 18 in the game right now.
And 8 boards.
Yeah.
How about that?
Nilu Venema with the ball, the senior out of the Netherlands. Coming off the bench here, Smith trying to dump down low to McMakin. Knocked away by Tomasetti. Back the other way comes Kendall Brzee. Kicks it out for three. Count it from Michaela Harrison. All-time leader in three-pointers made at Mount St. Mary's. Knocks down another one.
It's a great pass by Brzee, drawing the defense, finding her shooter, and Michaela Harrison absolutely pure from beyond the arc.
Well, the Mount's going to need a lot more of that in this one. For Deja Smith. Out of bounds, last touch by Akila Smith. It will go the way of the Mount.
And here's that pass. She gets a good deflection inside. She gets the steal and is looking ahead, pushing the ball. Never looks at Harrison, but knows she's there. Her eyes are on the rim, fools the defense a bit, puts them off balance, and she hits her shooter. And you can tell that Harrison and Brzee, they've played together for quite a while. Harrison a senior and Brzee a sixth-year player. Didn't even have to look at her teammate. She knew where she was.
Agantovic creating space, fades away, and the paint gets the roll. All right, so a couple of players starting to get involved offensively for the Mount. 4 points for Agantovic, but still a mountain to climb to get back into this one. McMakin with the fake, spinning right into Tess Borges, and a travel.
And that's McMakin trying to do a little too much in a small area where there were a lot of Mount defenders. Just trying to force the issue. And Sam, we're looking at a situation where perhaps the Mount could cut this thing to 10 or single digits if they're able to continue this momentum before the half.
Harrison on the ball fake, now gets it to Agantovic, behind the back, nice move. Brzee wide open for three, in and out. Wow, Brzee really needed that one.
Great pass by Agantovic. Good job getting a paint touch and looking for a shooter, just didn't fall.
Some tenacious defense as Adriana Schick knocks down her first shot of the game. 5'10" redshirt sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia.
And that's a killer. Just when the Mount, when you felt like they were getting back in this game, Adriana Schick with a huge three for the Lancers.
Harrison left open again. This time it won't fall. Rookanya with the rebound. 40 seconds left to go here in the second quarter. And that pass, Aaron, into the backcourt, racing it down. Bree Johns over and back. 7 turnover for Longwood.
Overall, Sam, we have not seen that many turnovers in this game. 7 for Longwood, 6 for the Mount. Longwood's done a pretty good job of taking care of the ball, and so has the Mount. They just missed shots. The Mount just shooting 21% from the floor, but they have picked it up in the second quarter.
Nice inbounds pass, but Brzee just can't make that one. "20 seconds to go. Longwood content with holding for the last shot. What a half it has been for the Lancers in their first tournament appearance. Bree Johns has to launch from way downtown, out of bounds. Still time left here. Will be the Mount ball. Into Brzee, got to get a shot off. Gets it off in time. Oh! What a shot from Brzee, half court. Wow.
What, Sam? Unbelievable. She wanted that ball. She was looking at her inbounder saying, give me that ball. And she was looking at the clock the whole time. Sometimes we see players shoot it too early. She knew exactly how much time she had left. You practice those shots at the end of shoot around. Absolutely cash money from Kendall Brzee.
I don't know if she got it off.
Oh, man, they're taking a look at it.
Yeah, I think the ball was still in her hand when that
call on the floor is reversed. No made pass.
Very unfortunate for the Mount because they don't know because they're in the locker room. Oh, man, what a shot, though.
One last look at it there. Yep, you see the ball in hand.
She was trying to use all of her time. I thought she did a good job of knowing how much time she had left, but she needed to release. Pretty sure it's going to be special.
Big South Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, has as many points in the first half as the Mount has total. So where does the Mount go to get some offense? Here's Tomasetti on the drive, puts it up and in. That's a good start. Tomasetti, her first points of the game.
I like how they came out attacking the rim. I know they like to shoot the three. They shoot 35% on the year, but they need to get more points in the paint.
Also got to find some way to at least slow down Akila Smith on that end. 20 points now. Again, just 7 healthy players for the Mount. Agintovic's shot rolls off to the right. Quickly back the other way. And Smith's shot, no good. Transition points, fast break points have been a big point of emphasis for Rebecca Tillett and Longwood. They had 12 in the first half. He's looking to push. Harrison loses it for a moment. Agintovic open for 3. Can't connect. Hunt with the rebound and a jump ball called. Possession to the Lancers.
At the beginning of this game, Mount St. Mary's was not sending a lot of people to the glass. They were sending 1 and they were sending 4 back. They've started to send a few more people to the offensive glass. I think partly because they're just struggling to shoot the ball. They have to find a way to get some second chances. And they have done pretty well in that category. They do have 6 offensive boards. They were able to grab a few more in the second quarter.
McMakin thought about handing it off to Lee, takes it herself, now finds Akila. Asking for help. Kennedy Calhoun with the left. Off the mark and rebounded by Tomasetti. Looking to push is the sophomore guard. Michaela Harrison on the drive and an armbar extended by Bree Johns. That's her first. Taken out underneath.
And keep an eye on the foul trouble for Mount St. Mary's. 3 for Hunt, 2 for Lee. This is a team with just 7 active players.
Foul going against Harrison. That'll be her first. And Antoine White in his first season. Excuse me, that foul was on Kendall Brzee, her second. McMakin splits a pair, gets the shot off, whistle underneath, will stay here.
The Longwood bench excited about that call. When we were talking with McMakin and Akila Smith and Tre'Dasia Smith in the press conference, they said, don't watch us, watch our bench. Our bench really gets into it, and if you look behind their bench, you'll see those Longwood fans. This is a school that sent both their men's and women's teams to the NCAA tournament for the first time ever. They had a big celebration in Farmville, Virginia, where Longwood is located. And here's that double trophy pick, Sam. Both teams in their hardware.
Tre'Dasia Smith almost sent the bench rolling. This time it's McMakin on the follow. Now in double figures is Kyla McMakin, the leading scorer for Longwood.
McMakin and Akila Smith complement each other really well. They both can score in bunches, but they do it in different ways. McMakin, much more of a mid-range player, can shoot the 3. And of course, Akila Smith, always scoring in the paint. So that's been a big part of Longwood's success this year. You want 2 scorers that can complement each other like that.
Tre'Dasia Smith whistled for the foul. Keep in mind the winner of this game will advance to play the Bridgeport Region #1 seed NC State on Saturday, March 19th, 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. NC State, of course, a 1 seed for the 2nd straight season. They have a lot to prove. I think we will see a couple more upsets this year, Kelly, than we maybe did in the past.
If you're looking for an upset, keep an eye on this region, in the Bridgeport region. I think IUPUI could upset Oklahoma. They have 4-time Horizon Player of the Year, Macy Williams. How about UMass?
Yep.
Could possibly upset Notre Dame. All those games we played in Norman, Oklahoma. Notre Dame has a ton of talent. They are prone to turnovers at times, and Sam Breen for UMass is a very good player. And this might not count as an upset, but the Kansas State-Washington State game, if K-State wins that game, it would technically be an upset. So this could be a region of upsets, perhaps.
Asia Smith gets a friendly roll. 6 points for the graduate point guard out of Madisonville, Texas. Now, it seems like Longwood has a lot of players that complement each other. Whether you have Tre'Dasia Smith, she ranks 20th in the country in assists. Then you have Akila. That three will fall for Kendall Brzee. It just feels like this team complements each other really well.
It's a great way to put it, Sam. You have a point guard who loves to pass. You've got McMakin, who can score in the wing, and Akila Smith, who is a bucket inside.
It's a good combo. 44-25, 6:17 left to go in the third quarter of this first 4 game. All right, well, Kendall Brzee has a very athletic brother and a program playing for that you're pretty familiar with, Kelly, and that is Clemson.
There he is, Brian Brzee, starting defensive tackle, freshman All-American a couple of years ago for America's team, the Clemson Tigers. And I would say Brian Brzee has a pretty athletic sister. I'd flip it the other way, but she was telling us stories. You know, when you have 2 college athletes in a family, the environment growing up can be quite competitive. My brother also played college basketball, so I can speak to that firsthand. And she was telling stories of them wrestling as kids before he grew to be 6'5", 300 pounds. And Brian Brzee told a story. They were playing pickup at a family reunion, and Kendall Brzee, always the competitor, stepped in and took a charge on her brother at 6'5", 300, and survived to tell the tale. That's a competitive family right there.
And we were told this was on concrete as well. You know, kind of your backyard basketball. And she also has a sister, Ella, who is battling cancer. She is in attendance tonight wearing the Ella Strong. There she is. We are told things are going well, which is excellent for Ella and the Brzee family.
And Kendall was saying Ella has become somewhat of a mascot for Mount St. Mary's at all of their games, and there's a picture of her holding the NEC trophy, and right on cue, Kendall Brzee is heating up for the Mount.
Still a long way to go. Here's the lob inside. What a find on the pass from Tre'Dasia Smith. Lobbing it up for Akila Smith. Smith to Smith. 22 points now for Akila.
Tre'Dasia Smith is the kind of point guard that I think every player watching this would have loved to play with. She is a pass-first point guard. She can score the rock, but she's looking to get her teammates involved. Always has her head up, always scanning the floor. She is a player like Akila Smith or McMakin. She's just a dream to play with.
McMakin, tough three, and a tough make at that. How about that for McMakin, who's got 15 points? She's a perfect 3 for 3 from long range. That's your kind of player, Kelly.
McMakin has never seen a 3 she doesn't like, which I can very much relate to. She's always hunting her shot. Her shot looks the same every time, sets her feet in, has a very quick release.
Brzee looking to answer on this end and does.
How about the offense? Back and forth. A little more of a defensive slugfest in the first half, but these teams so far have combined for 30 points in just the first 6 minutes of this quarter.
Brzee, 8 points in this quarter alone. She's got 10 on the game. Both these teams 7 for the last 7 from the floor, and Bree Johns will continue that trend. The sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia.
The Mount is heating up offensively, but in order to get back in this one, they have to lock down a little better defensively. They have struggled to limit Longwood and what they want to do on the offensive side of the floor.
Brzee got touched on the way up by Johns. She'll go to the line.
Kyla McMakin is McMakin from beyond the arc. We will take a look at her childhood backyard, see what her dad did to help her shoot the ball in her backyard next.
Welcome back. Kyla McMakin, 15 points, a perfect 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. But Kelly, she's been dreaming of this moment for a long, long time and envisioning it in her own backyard.
She told us yesterday, I have won the NCAA tournament many times in my backyard. This is her backyard set up at her parents' home. Her dad rigged this to get some inspirational messages there on those boards. And notice the net behind the backboard and on the side to keep the ball in play, to keep it from going in the neighbor's backyard. And then how about little Kyla? I love that picture. But Sam, that is a very important thing, okay? People don't understand. On my hoop when I was growing up, the ball loved to, even when I would make it, this is not necessarily a miss, bounce off the base, and then who knows where it goes into a neighbor's driveway, what have you. To have the nets, to keep the ball in play so you can get as many shots up as possible. That's just good parenting right there, Sam.
It seemed very well engineered. And the net, I agree with you, is absolutely crucial to the backyard basketball goal. 53-35, reverse layup for Tredeja is off the mark. The Mount looking to make a run. Tomasetti quickly up the floor. Brzee left wide open and connects.
She's feeling good.
She's got 15 in the game.
I think that half-court shot that did not count before halftime got her going. I really do. After she made that shot, her body language was different. She was saying, okay, all right, here we go. 13 points in the second half. This is the NEC Player of the Year last year. She's not used to being held to 2 points at halftime. Love the response from Kendall Brzee and getting her team somewhat back in the Sam. I'm telling you, at this point, down 15, if you can cut this to single digits, the way that Kendall Brzee is feeling, we could have a very interesting fourth quarter.
Calhoun with the handles, the foul, and the basket.
On the defensive end, though, you have to get stops, and Longwood has just been so good offensively. Pick and roll action, and Calhoun sees a big, she sees Hunt stay on her, and she says, I can get past her. I can use my quickness and get right to the rim.
That is number 4 on Isabella Hunt, so that hurts. Again, just 7 active players for the Mount, so they are limited. Foul trouble could get them in trouble. Second chance now coming for Longwood.
And how about that O-board from Brooke Anya?
Out of bounds, and again, we'll stay with Longwood. Tredeja Smith found the lane.
Longwood with 13 offensive rebounds. They are +7 in that category. They have truly dominated the glass in this game.
Jada Lee will check in for Michaela Harrison. And again, a reminder, winner of this one will face off against the #1 seed in the Bridgeport region, NC State. That'll be on Saturday. Good look for John's shot, no good.
That was excellent defense by Kendall Brzee. They've been working on that fade action in practice and shoot around, and she was all over it, was there on the catch, and an excellent contest to make that shot very difficult.
Brzee, 15 points, 13 of which in the second half. Out of bounds, going the other way.
A good pass from Brzee, but an even better defensive play and recovery from Brooke Anya. Anya was all the way out on that ball screen. Look, she hedges, and then she gets back, keeps her hands high, gets a hand on that basketball, and forces the call to go the other way. Well done by Brooke Anya.
Tries her shot on the other end, a bit too strong for Anya. Talked about at the start of the game, Mount St. Mary's was looking to slow the game down. I'm not sure you can afford to necessarily do that at this point with 1:20 left to go in the third quarter. Tess Borges, her three's no good. Agentovic in there on the rebound, and a jump ball will stay with the Mount.
I was thinking the same thing as you, Sam. You think they have to play a little quicker with this deficit. If you play a bit slower, you got to make threes. You got to make up for it somehow.
55-38. Timeout on the floor. 1:12 left to go in the third quarter. Longwood with a commanding lead. We've seen the Mount and Kendall Brzee kind of climb their way back into this one. But look, you have a lot of NC State players, fans, even in Reynolds Coliseum tonight, kind of scouting this one out. How does an NC State match up against a Longwood?
If Longwood were to prevail in this game, and here's a look at NC State. I had someone ask me on Twitter at halftime, these NC State fans, guys, they are active on Twitter. They asked me, how would NC State guard Akila Smith? Because she is more of a 4 player, but she's playing the 5. She's so quick. She can get around a traditional 5 that's playing her. I think you'll see some Kunane on her, but I also think you will see Jada Boyd and Kayla Jones, again, if Longwood were to advance, guard Akila Smith for the most part. That's a matchup that, honestly, I'd be very excited to see.
Yeah, winner gets NC State. Kendall Brzee trying to will her team back into this one. Wow! Able to dribble out of trouble, get the floater in the lane. Brzee is on another level here in this third quarter.
She is doing all she can, and she went to halftime thinking this could be my last college basketball game ever. Do I want to go out like this? And it's obvious that she does not. 15 points in this third quarter for Kendall Brzee.
And a carry called on the point guard, Tre'Dasia Smith. Couple of turnovers, rare for her in this one. See if the Mount can get a couple more here. 35 seconds in the third quarter.
Akila Smith has been on the bench for Longwood, getting a breather, and the Mount has taken advantage of her absence right now.
Harrison open for 3. Oh! Michaela Harrison!
They're creeping up on that single-digit mark. Single digits in the fourth. All bets are off.
The Mount 7 of their last 8. 2-minute, 15-second scoring drought for Longwood. 5 seconds left in the third quarter. Tre'Dasia Smith has to get a shot off, and an offensive foul. With 0.5 seconds left to go. $12-point deficit for the Mount, but what a quarter it has been.
It was all Akila Smith in that first half. That's who we were talking about. Kendall Brzee just took over this third quarter.
Shot won't be off in time, but Brzee, 15 points in the third quarter alone.
It was her quarter. She made this absolutely ridiculous floater. Not even sure how she kept control of that basketball. And then how about Michaela Harrison for Mount St. Mary's? We've got a ball game here in the...
Crawled their way back in on the shoulders of Kendall Brzee. She's got 17 points in the game, and they are trailing now by 12. Fourth quarter getting underway. Kyla McMakin trying to create room. Misses it all.
And look who's back in the game for Longwood. Akila Smith trying to build on her 22 points and 9 rebounds. Didn't play for about, I would say, the last 2.5 minutes of that third quarter, getting a breather. That was part of when Mount St. Mary's went on their run. So no surprise that she's back in this one.
Floater from Harrison connects. How about it? We got a 10-point game, Kelly Gramlich.
10-point game. That's the threshold. That's where I feel like you can truly have a ball game in the fourth. And Mount St. Mary's has looked like a different team in this second half.
Foul off the ball underneath. Second foul on Borges. Keila Smith spent quite a bit of time on the bench. Doesn't seem to matter, though. Just picks it right up where she left off.
She's so tough to guard. Kendall Brzee is trying to stay in front of her, but she has strength inside, but she's so quick. She has such a great first step. She faces up, and you blink, and she's at the rim. And here's what I mean, Sam. She faces up, boom, she's at the rim. You're not even ready for it.
We talked about kind of the size, length advantage that Longwood might have against Mount St. Mary's. That has certainly played out, especially the points in the paint differential. Brzee, pass in midair. Agantovic knocks down the three. So the three's starting to fall for the Mount here.
Stop me if you've heard this before, Sam, but 3 is worth more than 2. If Keila Smith scores a 2 on one end and the Mount scores a 3 on the other, they can get back in this one.
Tough shot. That's probably the longest shot furthest away from the basket for Keila Smith we've seen her take in this one. 57-48. Back out. Agantovic thought about it. Stepped on the line, out of bounds.
The 3-ball has truly gotten the Mountaineers back in this game. They are 6 of 8 from 3 in the second half. Agantovic getting in on the action.
Reynolds Coliseum is alive and well for this first 4 contests. Coming down to the 4th quarter. McMakin fading away from the elbow. Rolls off the rim, out of bounds. It will stay with the Lancers.
The Mount has to find a way to prevent offensive rebounds. And that's a team rebound as Longwood gets the ball back, but it has to be on the defensive end for the Mountaineers. It has to be one and done right now to get back in this game.
Isabella Hunt for Mount St. Mary's back in the game with 4 fouls. So keep an eye on 00 in blue. Antoine White in his first season trying to will his team from the sideline to a win here again. Mount St. Mary's trailed by 22 points in this game. Jada Lee with the handles, the pass just over the head of Michaela Harrison. She was open for it. The 11th turnover, though, for the Mount.
The Mount really likes to attack baseline and either kick baseline or kick out. And it's been effective for them in this game, but that time, that pass was a little too high.
Smith had it knocked out of her hands for a moment. Now faces up on Brzee. Tough shot. Offensive rebound. McMakin goes back up with it. That rolls off. Fight for it. Out of bounds. It's somehow kept in play, and the Mount has it going the other way. 9-point game. Isabella Hunt at the elbow. Agantovic back to Hunt. Looks down. Thought about it. Kicks it over to Jada Lee. Nice pass inside. Good ball movement. Agantovic off the mark. Jada Lee, though, with the offensive board. Oh, and what a cut from Agantovic.
The presence of mind from Agantovic to cut back to the rim, and a great pass by Lee. We have a ball game, folks.
Rebecca Tillett and Longwood need some time to talk this over. From once down 22, they are now down by 7. We have a game. NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Proving in this one. I have loved the play from Agantovic. She has done a little bit of everything. The 6-year senior who's dealt with injuries. She's been a big part of the Mountaineers getting back in this game.
Foul goes against Kendall Brzee. That's her 3rd. So game summary, Longwood led at one point 22 points. That has now dwindled to 7. It has been quite the second half. Mount St. Mary's has outscored Longwood 32-21 here in the second half. This is the closest it has been since it was 6-0 to start the game.
Akila Smith makes that first free throw. If you're Longwood, that's who you need to run your offense for. Back to your bread and butter. She had 18 and 8 in the first half. It's weird to say that Mount St. Mary's has held her to just 8 points in this second half because of how good she was in the first, but that has to be their plan. Pound the ball inside to your Big South Player of the Year.
Akila Smith now got 26 points. Into Brazee, trying to create space. Offensive foul. That's her 4th foul, Kelly. That hurts.
Wow, that is a tough call to make in this situation, but she pushed off, she lowered the shoulder, and the viewer might say, well, Tre'Dasia Smith was in the restricted area. If you're the primary defender, the restricted area does not matter. That is only for a secondary defender. So you can, if you're the primary defender, take a charge inside the restricted area. Brazee definitely pushed off. I think that was a good call.
Smith fouled once again. Go back to the line. Akila Smith, now 1,235 points. That is the most in school history. Congratulations to Akila. And the accolades just keep coming.
What a time to set that record here in Longwood's first ever NCAA tournament game. She is a player, as we have said, when she was a freshman, Coach Tillett's first season, she was a part of just 3 wins, 3 and 27. Now playing in the NCAA tournament.
Talk about faith and talk about buying into a program. Akila Smith has done just that. 11-point lead for Longwood. Mount St. Mary's on a bit quiet here the last couple of minutes. The 3 started to fall, and another offensive foul on the screen from Tess Borges. That's her 3rd. A couple of times now in a row. On this end, fouls called, turning the ball over.
Right now, the Mount has to get stops. Their focus has to be on defense. They can score the rock, but if they don't get stops, they're simply going to run out of time. Also
get some defensive rebounds as well. McMakin, and there's Smith to clean it up.
Easiest 2 of the night for Akila Smith.
Akila Smith has a 30-burger.
You know I love a 30-burger, Sam.
Whistle underneath. Goes against Tre'Dasia Smith. 3rd. Now a 6-0 run for Longwood over the last minute and a half has kind of quelled this comeback from the Mount. Can Agatovich revitalize? That's no good. Strong rebound brought in by Smith. 30 points, 12 boards, double-double for the Big South Player of the Year. Longwood and Rebecca Tillett opting to slow it up a little bit. Smith immediately double-teamed, looked for the dump down, turned over. That was well defended by the Mount there.
It's a good call to double. The Mount hasn't doubled Akila Smith as much as I thought they might, but at this point, you have to get the ball out of her hands. Just make someone else beat you.
Step through in the foul. Goes against McMakin. Be sure to catch the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One on the ESPN family of networks. First and second round starting tomorrow. Sweet 16 Elite 8, March 25th through the 28th. And of course, the Final Four from Minneapolis beginning Friday, April 1st, with games at 7 and 9:30 Eastern on ESPN. All comes down to this, the championship game, Sunday, April 3rd at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
By the way, I love that the championship game is going to be in prime time, 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. As a sports fan, I just love when my championship games are on a Sunday evening.
Yes.
Perfect time to sit down and watch a game that decides it all.
Couldn't agree more. Kendall Brzee, 18 points, 16 of which have come in this second half. Will it be enough, or is it too little too late? Clearly see the MO for Tre'Dasia Smith is to slow up this game a little bit. Mid-range jumper off the back iron, and there's Smith once again.
What a rebound. Her reach.
Yeah.
Brzee is doing everything she can, but she's almost unbox-outable.
Oh, McMakin!
Big three ball from Kyla McMakin. And these two, we talked about how they complement each other. McMakin is going to get it done from outside. She is 4 for 4 tonight from beyond the arc. Perfect.
McMakin struggled a little bit in the Big South championship game. Only was able to take a couple of threes. But like you said, perfect 4 for 4. It just seems like everything's clicking at the right time for this Longwood team. A 9-1 run now. They've done well to stop the run that the Mount had mounted in the third and fourth quarter.
That's well done, partner.
Thank you. A lot more of that coming in this first and second round coverage here in Raleigh.
And how about the poise from Longwood?
Yeah.
The Mount had a ton of momentum. Longwood could have panicked, but they didn't. And they have played a solid fourth quarter. The Mount has been really good from the free throw line. If they could have gotten there a little more in this game, certainly would have helped. 12 of 13 as a team.
It's just kind of that slow start. And then really the fast start for Longwood. They just kind of started on opposite pages of the book.
When you dig yourself a 17-point hole, it's just hard to come back. But the final 3 quarters have been played pretty evenly between these two teams.
Michaela Harrison with the steal. Gets fouled on the other end. It's 4 on Tre'Dasia Smith.
Tre'Dasia Smith has to be careful. She has played the vast majority of this game. She is their primary ball handler. You have to feel like the Mount is going to start applying even more pressure to try to force turnovers. And this is what Coach Tillett is telling her right now. She has to stay in this game and can't pick up that 5th foul.
Looks like Ann Hamilton-Leroy waiting to check into the game. She will check in for Kennedy Calhoun. So Smith with 4 fouls, that is Tre'Dasia. Isabel Hunt with 4, and Kendall Brzee with 4 as well for the Mount. McMakin looking for help. It's a tough shot. And rebound to Tomasetti. Mount's got to push a little bit here, down 11. Under 2 left to go. Got to think you're going to Brzee at some point here. It's Harrison off the screen. Whistle there. It was on the floor at least.
So not on the 3-point shooter.
Right, that was on the floor before the shot. And Hamilton-Leroy's 3rd.
My first thought was that was on the 3-point shooter, and if that ball had gone in, a potential 4-point play situation.
Both teams in the bonus with 1:41 left to go. So we will be shooting.
When you're down, no matter the deficit, the best thing possible is to score while the clock is not running. And as we've said, the Mount has shot the ball really well from the free throw line.
On 61% on the season, knocks down the first. First points of the game as well for the sophomore from Johnstown, PA.
At this point, you'd think the Mountaineers, you got to apply some sort of pressure. Press, trap, something.
66-57. And Tre'Dasia Smith's going to be pretty content just kind of dribbling around here. Ball poked away momentarily. Smith gets it back. Leroy. 10 to shoot. Smith on the post. Got fouled. Well done by Longwood there.
And a great pass by Tre'Dasia Smith to thread the needle. She drew a double, kicked it right to Akila Smith. That play was breaking down, but even as it broke down, it still felt like Tre'Dasia Smith was in control.
Akila Smith with 30 points on the night. Going to put the icing on the cake here for Longwood and send them through to take on NC State. It'll be on Saturday. Is once again, if Longwood can hold on here, Lancer's first trip to the NCAA tournament. At 32 points now, tying a career high for Akila Smith. What a night it has been for the senior from Orlando, Florida.
NCAA tournament, national television audience. Introduce yourself, Akila Smith. What a player.
Kendall Brzee with 20 points for the Mount. And a foul there. Goes against Brzee, and she's walking off. That is her 5th foul. And no doubt will receive a standing ovation from the Mount fans that have made the trip. Her family, of course. It'll be the last game collegiately for Kendall Brzee, and a hug from Antoine White. That's tough.
What a career, and just happy for her that she was able to have the kind of second half that she did. She had 2 points at the half, and she's in the locker room thinking, this could be my last game. And she comes out and gives you 18. What a response, and what a career for Kendall Brzee.
And imagine the emotions. I'm sure you remember walking off the court for the final time. That's got to be really, really emotional. Up ahead, Tomasetti can't bring it in. 45.8 left to go, and a 10-point lead for Longwood.
It's really great that her family was able to be here. She's hugging her brother, Brian, and her sister, Ella. It's not all the time that your family gets to be there for your last game, just depending on the location. And I love that they sent the Mount and Longwood to this location. It's drivable for both fan bases, drivable for families. And this is the kind of experience, the NCAA tournament, where you want families and you want friends to be able to be here. So well done by the NCAA to send these two teams to Raleigh.
So just a reminder, another look at our bracket here in the Bridgeport region. NC State awaiting the winner of this one. We also have Washington State and Kansas State. That'll be the first game on Saturday here on ESPN2. Down below them, Notre Dame, UMass. That'll be tough. Oklahoma and IUPUI as well. Notre Dame with Olivia Miles. Now, I mean, they have a lot of talent. Yale Ivy's done a great job with that crew.
If you're looking for an upset, if you're tuning in and you either are almost done with your bracket, IUPUI, Oklahoma, UMass, Notre Dame, I think one of those will probably happen.
Bold prediction from Kelly.
To say both would happen, that's a lot of upsets in one little pod, but IUPUI is a very good team. Macy Williams, 4-time Horizon Player of the Year. UMass, a very good team, and you've got Oklahoma, a team that played well at the beginning of the year, hasn't played as well down the stretch. Notre Dame, super talented but young, so keep an eye on those two games.
All right, 45.8 seconds left to go in the fourth. Let's get back to Elle in the studio for a quick update.
All right, thanks, Sam. That game rounding down, but we're going to see Bryce Caleb and Missouri State taking on Florida State about 6 minutes from tip and the second game of our doubleheader action for women's first four. Sam, see you in a minute.
Sounds good, Elle. It's been an exciting one here in this first four-game 10-point lead for Longwood. The Mount mounted a comeback, just a little bit too little too late, so it would appear. Kendall Brzee has fouled out of the game. Mount with the ball now. They've started to make some threes. They're going to need a couple more to fall. Tomasetti on the drive. Floater is good. Okay. McMakin stepped over the line.
Wow.
That will lead to a ball underneath for Mount St. Mary's. Somewhat of a careless mistake from a very careful player.
You don't see that called very often. And that's the thing, is you have to take the ball completely out of bounds. Sometimes it can hurt you.
Free throw line, Agintovich knocks it down, a quick 4 points. Clock at 35. Ball inbounded now. And a foul.
And this is why it's so important that Tre'Dasia Smith stay in the game. She has 4 fouls. She does all the ball handling pretty much for this team. And you can tell they trust her. Coach Tillett trusts her, the graduate student, and they need her in the game. She's also, coincidentally, a very good free throw shooter.
84% on the year for Tre'Dasia Smith. It's a miss there.
And what Coach Tillett is telling Longwood right now, run the Mount off the three-point line. The last thing we need right now is to give up a three-pointer. If you give up a layup, it's not the end of the world, but no threes.
So Akila Smith now checking back into the game. Full court pressure from Longwood. Got to get it in, and they do to Jada Lee. 7-point deficit. 27 to go. Jada Lee on the drive. And a blocking foul. It looked like there was some hesitation there as to what it was going to be called. But the basket's going to count. And a blocking foul.
Wow. This game, it just continues to intrigue. The Mount continues to stay around.
Wow.
That looks like a charge to me.
I'm with you there, Kelly.
That is that's well done by Ann Hamilton Leroy. She gets outside the restricted area. She's that secondary defender. She has to get outside the semicircle. And that looks like a textbook charge. It looks like the officials, they were discussing it, but they decided to keep the call on the floor. That's a break for the Mount.
And one opportunity for Jada Lee. Off the back iron, races and gets the rebound. Jada Lee, 5-point deficit and a turnover and a double dribble. They've had chances.
This last minute has been madness. Welcome to March Madness, folks.
Yeah, right. Foul. Tre'Dasia Smith will head to the free throw line. Foul on Michaela Harrison. It's just her first. 20 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Just when it seemed like Mount St. Mary's was out of this thing, they have come right back. Trail by 5. 20 seconds to go. And Tre'Dasia Smith at the line. She will shoot 2.
Coach White was just talking with his team in the women's game. Remember, you can call a timeout and advance the ball to half court. I'm sure that's what he was talking with his players about.
Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. Smith knocks down both. Bree Johns checking into the game for Hamilton Leroy.
He's not going to use it yet. As you mentioned, Sam, he has 1 timeout remaining. Feels that they can get a quick bucket here. He wants to hold on to it.
Tomasetti will launch a 3. Oh, and connect. Jessica Tomasetti. And a quick foul on that end. 4-point game now.
And that's why you save that timeout. You feel like your team's going to come down and knock down a 3. Tomasetti, you got to go quick. They do a good job of getting the ball back to her, and she lets it fly.
4 players for Mount St. Mary's in double figures. Deja Smith now in double figures as well. Ice in our veins at the free throw line, huh?
Pressure free throws for the graduate student. She hits them, and this is why Coach White saving that timeout as long as he possibly could. And now the Mount will be able to advance the ball.
12.1 seconds left to go. Akila Smith has had herself a career night. 32 points and a double-double with 13 boards, Kelly.
She has done everything for Longwood. She's scored inside. She's run the break. She's a great passer, finding McMakin for a 3. She's played really well defensively. She's just been a matchup nightmare. The Mount has tried to guard her with multiple players, with Borges, with Brazee, with Agantovic. It just doesn't matter. She's so quick. She can get to the rim at will. She's also 8 for 10 from the free throw line. This is an incredible performance from Akila Smith. And with the way this game started, Longwood won that first quarter 22-5 if you're just joining us. The Lancers needed every single point from Akila Smith. They have needed it. We'll see if they can hold on. But this game looked like it was going to be a blowout. Akila Smith had 18 in the first half, 14 in the second. She's been very consistent throughout.
You got to imagine, too, if Longwood does indeed hold on to this, Westmore is going to be focused heavily on how do we stop Akila Smith. The problem is, Longwood has other options that they can hurt you with, and we've seen Kyla McMakin make a ton of threes tonight.
Got to get a shot off.
Isabella Hunt gets it to Tomasetti, clock winding down. Tomasetti puts it back up and in, 0.6 seconds left to go. And congratulations to Longwood. The first time making the NCAA tournament. They have won their first 4 contests and will go on to face NC State on Saturday.